they had some stars up there, but what they've taken them down because they're going to put 3 dimensions.
On the last Sunday before they departed for Portsmouth, they invited me to dinner, and we had a loin of pork and apple sauce and a pudding.
I'd bought a spotted wooden horse overnight as a parting gift to little Wilkins Micawber, that was the boy, and a doll for little Emma. I'd also bestowed a shilling on the Orfling, who was about to be disbanded.
We had a very pleasant day, though we were all in a tender state about our approaching separation.
I shall never, Master Copperfield, said Mrs. Micawber, revert to the period when Mr. Micawber was in difficulties without thinking of you. Your conduct has been of the most delicate and obliging description. You've never been a lodger. You've been a friend.
My dear Copperfield, said Mr. Micawber, I am older than you, a man of some experience in life and of some experience, in short, in difficulties, generally speaking. At present, and until something turns up, which I am, I may say, hourly expecting, I have nothing to bestow but advice. Still, my advice is so worth taking that, in short, that I have never taken it myself. And here Mr. Micawber, who had been beaming and smiling all over his head and face up to the present moment, checked himself and frowned. The miserable wretch you behold.
My dear Micawber, urged his wife.
I say, returned Mr. Micawber, quite forgetting himself and smiling again, the miserable wretch you behold. My advice is, never do tomorrow what you can do today. Procrastination is the thief of time. Collar him.
My poor papa's maxim, Mrs. Micawber observed.
My other piece of advice, Copperfield, said Mr. Micawber, you know. Annual income, £20. Annual expenditure, 19, 19 and 6. Result, happiness. Annual income, £20. Annual expenditure, £20. Ought and 6. Result, misery. The blossom is blighted. The leaf is withered. The god of day goes down upon the dreary scene. And in short, you are flawed. As I am.
To make his example the more impressive, Mr. Micawber drank a glass of punch with an air of great enjoyment and satisfaction and whistled the college hornpipe.
Next morning I met the whole family at the coach office and saw them, with a desolate heart, take their places outside at the back.
Master Copperfield, said Mrs. Micawber, God bless you. I can never forget all that, you know, and I never would if I could.
Copperfield, said Mr. Micawber, farewell. Every happiness and prosperity. If, in the progress of revolving years, I could persuade myself that my blighted destiny had been a warning to you, I should feel that I had not occupied another man's place in existence altogether in vain. In case of anything turning up, of which I am rather confident, I shall be extremely happy if it should be in my power to improve your prospects.
I think, as Mrs. Micawber sat at the back of the coach with the children, and I stood in the road looking wistfully at them, a mist cleared from her eyes, and she saw what a little creature I really was. I think so, because she beckoned to me to climb up, with quite a new and motherly expression in her face, and put her arm round my neck, and gave me just such a kiss as she might have given to her own boy.
I had barely time to get down again before the coach started, and I could hardly see the family for the handkerchiefs they waved. It was gone in a minute. The Orfling and I stood looking vacantly at each other in the middle of the road and then shook hands and said goodbye. She going back, I suppose, to St. Luke's workhouse, as I went to begin my weary day at Murdstone and Grimsby.